It does this weird like
What? What's it doing?
like blurring effect again. I don't know how to turn it off. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a sit-down video to do an update and just talk about honestly the hardest thing we had to do so far
In our lives.
in our lives. As you guys know, we've had a very big kind of transition in our lives, moving from Canada to Miami to the US. I feel like I still get questions all the time being like, hey, I thought you guys are in Toronto. So we've officially moved to Miami. It's been a ride. So to give you a little bit of a backstory with how it happened, because it was by no means planned.
Have we never talked about?
We
Ended
did
up
in
moving
the
to Miami?
last video we did the sit down. Just to do like a quick little recap, we were in Canada, COVID hit, first lockdown, we were doing, you know, the zombie apocalypse situation like everyone else. Second lockdown, we decided to relocate to Costa Rica with the family. We were there for about 2.5 months, and then they announced another lockdown. I looked at Gary, I was like, let's get the hell out of here. We decided to rent a house here in Miami because it's like same time zone, so we'll be able to work and do, you know, conduct a regular business. And while we were here, we kind of looked at each other and we decided to stay. So if you guys have been with us for a few years, you know that we bought our house and built our house in Toronto.
Yeah. We're just getting comfortable.
It was kind of like our forever home, if that makes sense. I mean, forever until the boys are older, left to school, whatever, and then we're whatever.
You're so detailed.
I'm getting to it
We
because I
lived in a
want to like.
house. We
lived in a house, but it's a big detail when it's like our forever home. Like Gary was like, I'm not moving from here. This is it. This is for the next like 20, 30 years. So
I loved that house. That was a good house.
we came with suitcases for 3 months. So it was 2 suitcases for me, 2 suitcases for the kids, and 2 suitcases for Gary. And that's it. Literally everything else was left.
3 weeks into being down here, we looked at each other, and I will take credit for this. I said we should just move to Miami because this is going to be better for our kids, and I think there's more opportunity in America in the business that we're in, and more opportunity, I feel, in America in general.
The way we approached immigration was through an O1 visa. So it's a special talent visa in my industry. I actually used to have an O1 as a model, and we got this O1 for me because of social media and like the content creation and our agency that we have.
I'm here on an L1 visa, which is a business visa. We set up a corporation here, which is the Valeria Inc. Corporation, and we started operating here, as you guys have seen.
And when we decided to move, we just kind of like put the house out for sale.
When we left Toronto and we got on that plane and we came here thinking that it's going to be a 3-month vacation, Valeria hasn't stepped foot back into that house since that day we left.
It's crazy. One also a very often asked question was like, how did you just leave all your stuff? I don't have this like sentimental thing about like a home or whatever like
Right.
that.
You've been pretty sentimental about finding a home here. We've probably seen 60 homes here, and every home we took her to, she was like, no, I don't like this. It's got to be this style, this style.
Because I knew that this one I gotta feel it.
And Valeria says, I want a Mediterranean style
Wait,
home.
we haven't gotten to that yet. Okay, anyway, so we left Canada, we left everything, we sold everything. All of the items that we had, it was like from our older home. So I literally I could not care less, just take everything. Anyway, so we came to Miami, we were in this rental for 3 months, and then once we decided that we're gonna stay, we looked for another rental, and we found this amazing rental that we're in now. We signed for 1 year.
We've been here for over a year now.
We've been here for over a year. It's been a wonderful home, but
We tried to buy it. The owner wouldn't budge. He wouldn't budge. He wouldn't sell it.
it was actually crazy because anyone who's familiar with what's been going on with the real estate market in general, especially in Florida, especially in Miami, we were looking at each other and Gary started stressing out. He's like, "What? We won't be able to buy anything here."
So the hardest thing we've ever done to get kind of to the point is buying a home or trying to buy a home in Miami during COVID when the entire world moved to Miami. There are way more people who want to buy homes than there are homes for sale. So crazy things would happen, like people, you know, somebody would put a house out onto the market and within an hour there'd be 5 offers over asking price. And we're here, we're Canadians, we're not really even established in the United States. We're trying to go in and buy these homes, and people are like, yeah, you got to pay us 20% over asking, you got to pay us all in cash within 2 days. Just crazy stuff. Anybody who's familiar with real estate, especially in this market, knows what's been going on. For the last year, it's just been this free-for-all trying to buy a property, and even like crappy properties that need complete gut renovations. And then that's just the homes that were listed publicly. Then there were what's called off-market homes, and off-market homes means somebody hasn't listed it for sale. They have a real estate agent who would bring it to us, and they would say, okay, this is the price. And the real estate agent would say, give them this price and they'll sell the home to you. So we said, okay, we said, here's their full asking price. The next day they come back and they want 25% more. Just so you understand, we're talking about millions of dollars difference.
We were looking for homes for a year, and I cannot tell you like how stressed, especially you were very stressed.
We have kids and we need to know what school are they going to go to, and they start developing relationships in the neighborhood that we're in where we don't have this home and now we have to move. I want to get them into a more permanent situation where I know they're going to be for 10 to 20 years, so that the people that they meet, other kids that they meet and they start networking with, those are going to be their kind of friends for long term. Whereas now there's going to be stress on them that we're pulling them out and they already have friends on this island. Then Valeria's like, okay, listen, I don't want a modern home. I want a Mediterranean style home. I want it on a private gated community for security. I'd like it on an island, please. It's got to be in one of these 3 neighborhoods. And it can't require any work because we're not in a position to like renovate. So I'm like, this home doesn't exist. And you have to understand that listings come out, there's no homes to buy here. So I said to her, I said, basically, I don't know, maybe when I'm 300 years old, I'll find this home.
But you see, this is the thing. When you said the intention, I wanted to be very specific to what it is that I'm looking for, because if you're not specific, you don't know when it's it, you know? So Gary was really stressed out, and it's been a year in the making, and we're looking for homes, and our realtor is actually my best friend, Mary. We
met through Mary. Mary was our mutual friend, where we met. Valeria and I met 12 years ago.
We went to see this one house on a really good street, and it was a Mediterranean home, good size.
Needed some work.
Needed a little bit more work than we wanted, but like manageable. And we saw a few properties like that and decided we cannot get into a project like that because it's just too much work for us. We're not those people. So we saw this one house. Price range good, the street is really good, although it wasn't like Gary's favorite.
It's not a gated community, it's on a through street, and the boys wouldn't be able to leave the home. And that's a big deal, because they're not used to that.
But the home specifically like hit those like, oh, it wasn't a style that we wanted, it had enough square footage, it had like a guest house, and it was in our price range.
But we bought it, and we put a deposit down on it. But then what happened was, when you go into contract on a home, you have what's called a 10-day inspection period. And in that 10 days, you send an inspector in to make sure that like the pipes are good and the structure is good and all that stuff. And I decided that I'm going to go with the inspector, not to inspect the home because I don't know anything about home inspections, but just to spend more time in the home and just to get a vibe from it. By the way, I want to recommend that anybody who's buying a home, go in that inspection period when you can still get out of the contract, and go for like 2-3 hours and sit for like 20 minutes in different parts of the home. You're making such a major purchase, such a life-altering purchase. And after seeing a home for 10 minutes, you got to get a vibe for it. Anyway, so I went with the inspector. I sat around in the different rooms, and I just didn't get a good vibe from it. It was just a vibe thing.
So I'm in the south of France, and Gary calls me, and he's like, listen, I was at the house with an inspector. I was sitting there, and I'm not feeling it. And obviously, at that point, I'm so tired of looking at homes, but also kind of tired dealing with Gary's frustration, because I'm just like... But when he told me that, I honestly just felt in my gut, I told him, you know what, you're right. I also don't think this is our house. So you were so negative at that point, but to me it was kind of like a beginning of, it gave me some kind of hope, because I was like, okay, there's something out there for us.
It was really beating me down because never mind the fact that the homes are just so crazy priced. Everybody wanted to come to Miami for various political reasons. Like a lot of people coming from California, people with a lot of money, a lot of people coming from New York,
yeah.
People with huge money. So even if you have the money, you can't buy anything because
there's no inventory.
There's nothing coming out.
But it's also like, you have to remember, right? Miami is old. Like a lot of the homes here are old. They're run down. To be quite honest with you, a lot of the homes we've seen, I looked at Gary, I'm like, they don't know how to build here. Like everyone builds here for their own liking. So when you go into a home,
well, every home is custom here.
it's custom, right? It's not
like in Canada where it's a
Right.
subdivision.
And there's also not only that, but I feel like in Canada, even when you build your home, there's kind of like a, you know, there's kind of a rules to follow. There's guidelines. Here, oh my God, it's out the window. Even when you're in the market, there's just like nothing. There was no inventory. So one day, actually not one day, on our anniversary, Gary sends me a listing that went up literally 3 minutes ago. I looked at the time.
I looked at the house. I said, "This house is perfect.
He
This is
sends
the house Valeria wants."
So he sends me the house and he sends me the link. I was actually on a call. I opened the link. I literally write in all caps, "Buy it now."
And I texted Mary and I said, "Mary, I'm on my way there." This is like 5 minutes after it got listed. I said, "I'm on my way. Draft the offer." Valeria and I signed the offer digitally and we went to the house. I go, "Tell the selling agent we're outside the house." She's like, "Gary, the house got listed 5 minutes ago." I go, "Please tell the selling agent we're outside of the home." And so Valeria has the worst poker face ever. Valeria's like, "This is my home. This is it. And it's our anniversary. It's meant to be." Basically, the real estate agent is sitting there. She's like, "Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching."
I'm not playing no games, I'm done. What's great about having your best friend is as your realtor, we both walked in and she looks at me and we're both like, this is... And it's so funny because back to like when I was telling him I want this Mediterranean home and all that thing, it's more kind of like a French colonial. When Mary looked at me, she's like, "Valeria, you are French. You need a French home." I was like, I know!
She's not French.
My soul is French. Anyway, so we started walking through the house and honestly, it literally checked off every box. The reason why I didn't want modern is that I wanted that warmth. I wanted that character of the house. So it had character, everything was just like clean and beautiful and renovated and there were enough rooms for everybody. Rooms are big, like there's a beautiful backyard and it wasn't too big and it wasn't too small. It was... So I looked at Gary, I was like, "Babe, happy anniversary!" And he's like, "Oh my God, now I have to go fight for this house." Obviously, like Gary said, zero poker face. So the agent was like, "Hey, this is a done deal." And Gary just stands there and I'm just like, when are we moving?
So I said to the agent, I go, "What's it going to take to buy the house?" And she goes, "Give us an offer close to ask or at ask."
Gary's like, "We're giving you full offer. You stop showings right away." She's like, "I listed it like half an hour ago. I mean, I already have some showings like that." He's like, "No.
You got to cancel all your showings. Here's your offer. That's it. Done. Signed. Let's go."
We were so eager to just like close it and be done with it. The agent promised us, "Okay, give us 24 hours and the seller."
Oh, you're going to go there? You're going to talk about this? I didn't know you were going to talk. Okay. All right.
That was the fun part because it wasn't just like, okay, we bought a house, done deal, clean.
All right.
We're like on the edge of our seats because again, we've already been part of the, signing a contract, getting into contract. Like we already know that there's such an insane market here. So I said, "Gary, we gotta lock it down." So in our offer, we said, "Okay, you have 24 hours to respond." The seller goes MIA, nowhere to be found for 2 weeks. Gary and I were like, "We don't have a house." I'm like, "Gary, this is my house." He calls the agent probably 7 to 10 times a day, messages her. She's like, "I've never dealt with this before. I don't know what happened. I can't find them." Anyways, after 2 weeks, that literally like kept us so at the edge of our seats, they signed back. We got a house. Woo-hoo. Hopefully no surprises, but we already started getting trades in and we have minor things to do.
We're putting on a new roof.
Yeah.
It's not minor.
I mean, I know, but I mean, we're not breaking any walls or doing any additions.
New roof, paint, we're sanding the floors and painting them in a color that Valeria likes. Valeria and I are having a big debate over which white to use. I just love going over different shades of white.
We're very, very excited. I really love the house. The energy is amazing in the house and we are working on finding a decorator, designer that we can work with and just really get the job done. Something that is so important to both of us now is to create a home that we enjoy, that we feel comfortable in, that inspires us. And the home itself has amazing bones. It's such a beautiful structure that we want to make sure that we do it justice, because I feel like, in our Toronto home, we were too lazy and busy to do anything with it. And it was just like, so I'm excited to work with someone that can bring it to life and really make it look and feel the way we want to, but also complement the house itself. So like I said, the style is French colonial, has like contemporary vibes to it, so we need to put something together like that.
Are we going to be doing an empty house tour?
We will be doing an empty house tour, so that's kind of like the first video of our kind of series of everything to do with the house, and I'm really, really excited. The boys are excited. We did a lot of research, and I've already met some of the neighbors there, and I found out that there's quite a bit of kids there, so I think that it will be a really nice community for us, a great environment for the kids. Ben has seen the house, he really likes it.
Max has seen it, but he doesn't have an opinion on it.
Jake is the only one who hasn't seen it.
There's going to be a fight because it's 4 bedrooms, so a bedroom for me and Valeria, a bedroom for Max, there's Jake and Ben, and there's 2 bedrooms, and one is bigger than the other, and I know it's already going to be a fight, so let's see how that works out. Maybe we'll do a video on the debate of why they think they should get which room.
We are shipping our boxes and all that stuff from Toronto here. We don't have any furniture. I don't know how long furniture will take. Anyways, it's a whole new adventure, but at least we're not homeless anymore. That is the newest development, which I feel like has been very big for us, and it feels nice. I can't wait to share it all with you. Yay!
Thanks, guys.